I thought it was going to be a one-time thing. I didn't ever think that it was going to get me by the throat and strangle me until I was, stomped into the ground.
I found a 9mm under the kitchen sink, and I stuck it up to my head, and I was ready to pull the trigger and ready to die.
I wake up every day with pain throughout my whole body. I have tracks all over me that I don't know if they'll ever go away.
I have herpes, I've had gonorrhea, I've had chlamydia, HPV.
Things I did on meth. Really regretful, ashamed of myself. Don't really feel like I deserve to be here anymore.
Hi, my name's Caitlin.
My name is Joe, and I'm 20 years old.
My name is Haley. I'm 18 years old.
My name is Tanya.
Hi, my name's Kelly, and I started doing meth when I was 12.
With a drug like methamphetamine, if you can prevent the initial use, you can really reduce the damage the drug does to a whole community. I mean, this is a drug where you really don't want to simply treat the casualties. You want to prevent people from moving down the pathway of drug use, and prevention is a real key to that.
My name is Tom Siebel. I'm a father of 4. I'm an investor. I'm a rancher. I'm the founder of the Meth Project. The Meth Project is about dramatically reducing methamphetamine use amongst teenagers and young adults. We're particularly focused on first-time methamphetamine use. The Meth Project is a large-scale exercise in prevention. The Meth Project is about educating the consuming public about the benefits and risks of methamphetamine so that they can make a better informed product consumption decision. So we went about conducting extensive research, and based upon that information, we then brought together some of the best marketing and communication minds in the United States to develop a series of hard-hitting communications that would communicate the product attributes of methamphetamine so that people know what they're getting into before they do it, and they elect to not experiment with it. In methamphetamine, we're dealing with the fastest acting addictive agent known to man. It's not true that everybody who does it once becomes instantly addicted. It is true that many people who try it once become instantly addicted. That being said, it's a very rapidly acting addictive agent. And not even once is very much about that communication strategy. Not even once. Don't get near it. Don't try it. Don't experiment with it. This is the wrong thing to try. Montana offered a very, very effective place to test the idea. Montana is isolated. It's a relatively small media market with slightly less than 1 million people in population. It's easily reachable, and it had a very critical methamphetamine problem. When we enter these markets, we saturate the market, and we maintain a very, very high level of reach and frequency throughout the campaign. Okay, we have found that there's no point in putting a few messages out there. There's no point in running a few ads. We're running primetime TV, primetime radio, mainstream billboards, mainstream print. And these are expensive campaigns, and they are very, very significant.
So, I get along all right with my parents. I mean, they're pretty cool. And I know they trust me. You know, they trust me.
Come on, Dad! Let me
I love my boyfriend. We've been together since like 8th grade. He's my best friend. He takes care of me.
Yeah, my parents think I'm sleeping at your house. Yeah, I'm just jumping in the shower. Okay, bye. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I remember one time I was sitting at my friend's house and we'd been smoking for about 4 days straight, and I stood up and I blacked out. I don't really remember, but they told me that my heart started beating really, really fast and stuff, and I was like throwing up blood. My name is Kara. I'm 15 years old. I started doing meth when I was 11. My really good friend was like, check my heart, and he was freaking out because it scared him. And he's like, I thought you were gonna die because your heart stopped twice. And they never took me to the hospital. And I feel bad because my mom doesn't know. And I think, what if I did die? If I did die, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't get this second chance. I wouldn't get to turn things around. I wouldn't make it to my 16th birthday. And I regret it a lot.
Brought to you by the Meth Project.
I feel ashamed a lot of times about my behavior. When I was on meth, I didn't care who I affected. The worst things I did was beat my girl when she was pregnant. My name is Mike. I'm 17 years old, and I started doing meth when I was 14. I was high one time, and she came home from work, and she was telling me why was I high. And I told her I didn't want to hear it, and she kept on going on. So I got up and slapped her. I just kept on slapping her, and then I just left. And I know that there's scars that'll never be healed because of my use and how I've abused her and stuff. Looking back on all the things I did on meth, really regretful, ashamed of myself. Don't really feel like I deserve to be here anymore.
Brought to you by the Meth Project.
We Paint the State was a large-scale public art project in which we invited the young people of the state to create monumental scale art and put it on display in a very, very public fashion. It was really something.
The the Meth Project in Montana has made a big difference already. I think that the awareness of methamphetamine and its damage is way up. People are talking about it. I think kids are highly aware of the problems, and all the indicators we're seeing on use of methamphetamine are showing some tremendous progress in reducing the use.
The response of young people to the Meth Project has been unbelievable. They're painting buildings, they're developing art projects, they're writing letters to the editor, they're writing stories in their school newspapers. Their support has been universal, it has been enthusiastic, and it's been a critical success factor for the project.
A big part of the Montana Meth Project is a series of graphic ads aimed at children. They have worked so effectively that other states now are planning to run them too.
In national news, the state of Montana is airing strong anti-drug ads.
A graphic new ad campaign aimed at stopping teenagers from using meth.
Hardcore new campaign. The state is considering an anti-meth advertising campaign.
Dan Simon has a success story that is all too rare.
The government response for the Meth Project in the state of Montana has been universal. Democrats, Republicans, people in the state legislature, governor's office, the attorney general, senators, congressmen, you name it. Everybody has gotten on board to support the Meth Project. The White House has now recognized the Meth Project as a model for the nation, a model in prevention, a model in effectiveness. The idea of the Meth Project was about developing repeatable, scalable, highly effective prevention technologies that we could test and refine in the state of Montana and then transfer those prevention technologies to other places where they have a methamphetamine problem.
The scope of the methamphetamine problem in Arizona is overwhelming. It's the #1 crime problem. It's a destroyer of lives. We've linked it to 73% of violent crime and 75% of property crime. You can't arrest your way out of the meth problem. I think the model of the Meth Project is sort of attacking the problem from many sides, but primarily from the media, is eminently usable in Arizona. Major urban areas where one of the only ways we can reach large numbers of young people is through television and radio advertising. But it also has an educational component after the fact. It has the pledge component, which allows hands-on contact with young people. It basically is the kind of multi-approach that gets people's attention, keeps it, and then it's constantly refreshed in a way that you think you've heard the message, but then you hear it a slightly different way. And so the impact is redundant and I think incredibly effective.
The meth model, as far as I'm concerned, has already proven successful, and that's where it originated and was created. In the state of Montana, they've reduced their methamphetamine use over there by some 70%. So we saw no need to reinvent the wheel. We also saw an opportunity with the creative nature of that entire project through the television, through all the media views. They've been very successful, and through their efforts, we have adopted those efforts in the state of Idaho, and we expect the same result.
It is a very effective tool to educate, to make people aware of the realities of this drug, and I particularly like the way that the whole approach is peer-to-peer rather than some guy in a suit talking down to a group of young people. Kids are talking about it. my kids talk about it. It is having a far-ranging effect.
The Meth Project was an effort that we began in the state of Montana. And here we had a place where we could test our messaging, we could test our measurement tools, we could develop our measurement tools, we could develop our messaging, we could develop our governance model, our public policy model, and our communications model. Okay, and so we could develop and refine these technologies to the point where they were highly effective in the state of Montana. And the idea then was we would transfer these technologies to other states. And we've been doing that quite effectively in the past year. The Meth Project is saving lives, it's saving communities, it's making the world a better place. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. To be able to participate in a project like this is enormously fulfilling.